What's up guys, this is Louis Show here, and if you accidentally stumbled upon this channel, I'm so sorry, I really am. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today, I've seen this many times on YouTube and on social media in general, and that would be COPPA. And for those who don't know what COPPA is, it is the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, and it was signed to Congress in, I believe, April of 2000. Almost 20 years ago, and there's a lot of mass hysteria surrounding it, like, oh, this is gonna be the end of YouTube, oh my god, oh, it's gonna be the freedom of speech, and a bunch of other stuff. So today I thought I'd make a little educational video, and I've seen a few YouTubers that have done this, and they went onto the actual FTC website and went over it, and what you're about to hear is gonna be some good news. So let's get started. YouTube channel owners, is your content directed to children? Alright, I'm gonna be skipping most of the stuff, but like I'm gonna be looking at the important stuff. Alright, FTC action against YouTube and Google. Lawsuit against YouTube and Google alleged that the companies illegally collected personal information from children in violation of COPPA. According to the complaint, the companies collected that information from viewers of child-directed YouTube channels in the form of persistent identifiers that track users across the internet, but didn't notify parents and get their consent. To settle the case, YouTube and Google agreed to create a mechanism so that channel owners can designate when the videos they upload to YouTubers are, to use the words of COPPA, directed to children. The purpose of this requirement is to make sure that both YouTube and channel owners are complying with the law. So, most of you probably know that YouTube kind of like broke the law. They had to pay $170 million to $180 million fine or something like that. Alright, I'm not going to go over the COPPA recap too much. And also, like, there's going to be some words that might seem confusing and might seem scary to some people. So I'm just going to basically dumb it down for you. I hope you'll fucking appreciate it. The FTC enforces the law through the COPPA rule. In general, COPPA requires operators of commercial websites and online services that are directed to children. More about that in a minute. To provide notice and obtain verifiable parental consent, blah blah blah. The COPPA rule defines personal information to include obvious things like a child's first and last name or home address, but that's not all. Under COPPA, personal information also covers what are called persistent identifiers, behind-the-scenes code that recognizes a user over time and across different sites or online services. That could be an IP address or a cookie when it's used to serve targeted ads. Keep in mind that an operator also might be collecting personal information through an open comment field on its site or a service that allows a user under 13 to make personal information publicly available. For example, think of a comment like this on a child-directed site. Hi, my name is Mary Jones from Springfield. I love this video. Like, who in the hell would, type such a thing on the internet? Like, once you delete something, it never goes away. Never goes away. Like, why would, whatever, well, let's just read it. Let's read it. How COPPA applies to channel owners. So how does COPPA apply to channel owners who upload their content to YouTube or another third-party platform? Another third-party platform. So that means Vimeo, that means, well, Dailymotion, like, it could count, like, at the same time, maybe not, because it's European-based, but I think they have to follow the law as well. I don't know. Anyways, COPPA applies in the same way it would if the channel owner has its own website or app. If a channel owner uploads content to a platform like YouTube, the channel might meet the definition of a website or online service covered by COPPA. By covered by COPPA, it means, like, COPPA's on your ass, like, depending on the nature of the content and the information collected. If the content is directed to children, and if the channel owner or someone on its behalf, for example, an ad network, collects personal information from viewers of that content, for example, through a persistent identifier that tracks the user to serve interest-based ads, the channel is covered by COPPA, meaning that the channel, COPPA's after that channel. Once COPPA applies, the operator must provide notice, obtain verifiable parental consent, and meet COPPA's other requirements. For information on how to comply with COPPA, please visit the FTC's COPPA page for how channel owners can determine if their content is directed to children. Under COPPA, there is no one-size-fits-all answer about what makes a site directed to children, but we can offer some guidance. To be clear, your content isn't considered directed to children just because some children may see it. That is fucking important right there. Like that sentence that I just read, that is important. Like, I honestly, actually it is YouTube's fault for this. Like, YouTube is really the bad guy here, not the FTC or COPPA. Like, YouTube is very vague about the whole situation, you know? That's why there was like mass hysteria going around, and it's still going around today because not a lot of people are informed about it, you know? But let's move on. However, if your intended audience is for kids under the age of 13, COPPA's going after you, bitch. They're going after you. And you have to honor the rules requirements. The rule sets out additional factors. Okay. Most of you probably, already know that, but I'm not gonna cover it on here. I'm gonna paste a link below so that way you can read the full thing yourself. I'm not gonna read all of it, obviously. The determination of whether content is child-directed will be clearer in some contexts than in others, but we can share some general rules of thumb. First, unless you're affirmatively targeting kids, there are many subject matter categories where you don't have to worry about COPPA. For example, if your videos are about traditionally adult activities like employment, finances, politics, home ownership, home improvement, or travel, you're probably not covered unless your content is geared toward kids. The same would be true for videos aimed at high school or college students. On the other hand, if your content includes traditional children's pastimes or activities, it may be child-directed. For example, the FTC recently determined that an online dress-up game was child-directed. Second, just because your video has bright colors or animated characters doesn't mean that COPPA is going after your ass. While many animated shows are directed to children, the FTC recognizes there can be animated programming that appeals to everyone. Boom, right there. Another good fucking point. It appeals to everyone. It doesn't appeal to, little kids. Like there's adult cartoons like Family Guy, South Park, American Dad, yada yada yada, I swear. YouTube is pissing me off more than COPPA. I'm telling you right now. Third, the complaint of a YouTube case offers some examples of channels the FTC consider to be directed to children. For example, many content creators explicitly stated in the About section of their YouTube channel that their intended audience was children under the age of 13. Yeah, you'll look like a pedophile for doing something like that. You're gonna look like creepy Uncle Joe.
Title. This is the title. This is a long day. A lot of walking in this question. Don't tell me what you have to.
But I'm sure that's completely normal.
But let's move on. Other channels made similar statements in communication with YouTube. In addition, many of the channels feature popular animated children's programs or show kids playing with toys or participating in other child-oriented activities. Some of the channel owners also enabled settings that made their content appear when users search I can't speak today. When users speech problem. When users search that made their content appear when users search. Now I got dyslexia. Search for the names of popular toys with anime characters. Yeah, I'm sick. Finally, if you apply the factors listed in the COPPA rule and still wonder if your content is directed to children, it might help to consider how others view your content and content similar to yours. Has your channel been reviewed on sites that evaluate content for kids? Is your channel, or channels like yours, mentioned in blogs for parents of young children or in media articles about child-directed content? Have you surveyed your users, or is there other empirical evidence about the age of your audience? Well, here we go. This is another important one here. What are the possible penalties for violating COPPA? The rule allows for civil penalties of up to $42,530 per violation, but the FTC considers a number of factors in determining the appropriate amount, including a company's financial condition and the impact a penalty could have on its ability to stay in business. So they're not, depending on your economic situation, they're not gonna fine you up to $42,000. They're probably gonna slap on the wrist, they'll probably make you delete your video, or they'll force you to, kind of redo it and cut some stuff out. Like, you're gonna be fine. Well, while Google and YouTube paid $170 million, kind of like I said in the beginning of the video, in another COPPA case settled this year, from operator paid a total civil penalty of $35,000. Isn't the FTC taking another look at the COPPA rule? Yes, the FTC is currently evaluating the rule in light of rapid changes in technology. Alright, so that's it. I've read probably like a good 85% of this stuff. I recommend you read the whole thing below, so that way you can get a better understanding of it. And in conclusion, COPPA they're not the bad guy here, nor is the FTC. Like, we're trying to do their job of protecting, children. And I know that there's some flaws, like, oh, children can fake their age, and yes, that's true. I mean, I kind of faked my age when I was signed up for YouTube 3 years ago, but we're not going to talk about that. I mean, I was a month away from turning 13. I was 12 years old at the time, and I mean, my target audience isn't for younglings. Like, it's mature. It's like targeted for, like, my age group and people that are in their 20s. That's my target audience. And also with YouTube, like, you have to mark your videos as for kids or not for kids. And like, I was reading through the comments, and many people pointing out that there should be like a gray area option. And it's YouTube's fault. Like, they're breaking the fucking law. Like, COPPA literally said that, like, just because your video, that's right, I'm getting so angry at it. Like, I shouldn't be, but I am, because YouTube is filled with a bunch of fucking liars, man. Like, we're trying to scare people, and a lot of people I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I don't care. Like, people are still misinformed. People are still scared out of their minds, and it's all YouTube's fault. I mean, I'll link another video talking about that, thing in the description below. Like, the reason why YouTube isn't allowing the option for a gray area is because money. Money. I mean, that's all I have to say, really. Yeah, expect new videos probably like in the next coming month or so. I almost forgot. So, under the new terms of service, YouTube can delete like any account that isn't quote unquote commercially viable. So what that basically means, like, commercially viable doesn't mean making money. It means not being commercially unviable. Example: copyright violations, triple X content, or ad generated. So yeah, YouTube they're not gonna delete every single account, because commercially viable doesn't mean making money. Like, I'm reading it off of a comment here. I'll probably paste, the video where I got the comment from in the description below. I swear, there's gonna be a lot of stuff below in the description. But don't worry. And also, because I got the new information, by the time the video will be uploaded, I mean, for those who follow my Instagram account, I'll be deleting that, COPPA post, because I was like I said, a lot of us were misinformed. And people, are still being ignorant, like, for, blocking out, any sound, like they're too scared, they're, have a stick up their ass that they don't want to, accept the fact that the FTC, aren't the bad guys here. YouTube is the bad guy, alright? And I mean, in case something, bad does happen to my channel, like, I made a Vimeo account. Like, it's completely different from YouTube, I don't know, the best way to describe it is that it's like a combination of Facebook and YouTube, except that, whatever. That's it, that's literally all I have to say about, the video. Show's over. Capitalism wins again.